That's one question I wrote down.
Yeah.
You have an invisible ring that makes you invisible.
Yeah.
What do you do with said ring?
You
Like,
find,
what kinds of things do you do while invisible?
Oh, I wasn't ready for this quiz.
This is top 9 things you do while invisible.
I mean, I think going...
I think you should drive your boat while invisible. People would be freaking out.
just veering in and out of.
Drive a car. Well, that might not be as big of a deal anymore.
Dude, walk into the Super Bowl and watch it from the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Like, what kinds of things can you...
Yes.
Oh, get in the game and tackle somebody.
Yeah, well, hold on. Yeah, because you... Yeah.
Welcome to The Cover, where 3 Hoosier friends judge books by their covers and movies by their trailers.
That's right. I'm Brett, here with my fellow Indiana natives, Remington and Marcus, ready to dive into the stories that keep us up all night and occasionally put us to sleep.
Whether you're a bookworm, movie buff, or just here for the witty banter, we've got you covered.
Each week, we'll dissect a different book or movie, sharing fun facts, hot takes, and moments that make Marcus cry. Spoiler alert, we're not experts, but we're definitely opinionated.
From literary masterpieces to blockbuster flops, nothing is safe from our snarky reviews and wild tangents. Who knew Hoosiers could be this entertaining?
So grab your popcorn and reading glasses because we're about to embark on a hilarious journey through the pages and screens that shape our lives. Or at least our weekends.
You're listening to The Cover. Let's get the show on the road before one of our kids wakes up.
Is it irresponsible to only do the first episode of the saga?
I think we make it a part 1, but we don't launch part 2 until
Man, I don't want to wait to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to.
I would. How many are there?
I wouldn't be opposed to doing a special launch.
There's 3, and then
Here's
there's
what we're gonna
the
do.
Hobbit, which is right?
We're gonna do this episode.
There's 3 Hobbit movies also.
Yeah, there's 3 Hobbit
So
movies.
I mean, we might have the whole summer
Hey.
locked
gosh.
down.
I think we all get together and we watch all 3 in a row, and then we record it.
Is this your
and
first
then
time
release it.
viewing this movie?
It's my first time paying attention. Like
My
really.
goodness.
To Lord of the Rings?
Oh man, it's so good.
So
This
Oh
happened
my
with Star
gosh.
Wars with me. Like,
How did you get on this podcast?
that's what I said. That's
a
what I
real
said at Books
question.
and Brews. I was
I
like,
mean-
so when I said we're going to start a podcast about books
That's
and
how-
movies,
that's how you guys
and
know-
you've never watched movies.
That's
and
how you
don't
guys
read.
know you like me. This is like you're starting a basketball team and your 5'2" white friend. You're like, come be on our team. You can start. We're trying to win the league.
You facilitate.
Explains why we like only have German listeners.
Yeah, I
It
think
explains why we're not at con yet.
Yeah,
It's all Brett's fault.
Sundance 2026.
some would argue the opposite. The takes.
Did we book our Spirit flights yet
No, we still got
for Sundance?
I got somewhere I'm flying in 2 weeks that I haven't booked.
I got points.
Mm.
How fast
What's the sweet spot with?
flights
Yeah. What are you finding? What's
in
it-
terms of when you book?
yeah? What's
Oh
the sweet-
man, whenever I remember to book my flights.
Yeah, that's kind of how
So
I
this
am.
isn't you playing the game. And
Oh no, I'll justify it afterwards. Like, that was probably better. It's probably good. I mean, I do know the hack. Don't refresh. Like, if you refresh, it jacks the price up. So, like, use a different search engine. Or,
Yeah,
I do know that much. But other than
because
that,
the price changes because there seems to be more
demand.
Yeah, hey, I guess they can do it.
Hey, I do want to talk briefly about what you guys thought about Books and Brews.
Dude, I thought it was a blast.
That was a lot of fun.
it was so cool getting real time feedback.
Real time laughs and
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
That was my favorite.
They
part.
laughed a ton.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
I just
pretty
listened to
funny,
it
right?
back. Yeah.
I'm pretty funny.
But then, was there ever a time where you were trying to be funny, and they didn't laugh?
Not me.
That happened to me.
I don't. I don't. Well,
question-
if so, I don't remember.
I quit.
My favorite part
You
is
were
when
feeling
I-
good. It was your
You know how
birthday.
you don't remember? You don't remember movies.
Yeah.
I don't really remember like missed shots or when people don't laugh. Or
Yeah,
just any
just move on.
failures. Yeah.
That's not surprising.
Sometimes I'll crack a joke and they're like still waiting on the punchline, and I'm like, okay, quick, think of another punchline. It never works. So that happened a couple times, but for the most part, I think we were pretty on. We were on.
Yeah, but now you guys have listened to it, but we're fresh off. This is our first time together since the live recording.
Cinco de Mayo.
Mm-hmm. Got some good notes for next time. I think we're excited about it.
Yeah.
I think the people enjoy it.
Are we going to do the backyard Hamilton on the 4th of July?
Ooh.
I think you guys should come over and watch it in the backyard. We could have some hookah going.
That's
a good idea.
Drinks, fireworks.
That's my vote.
Ooh,
It's
that's
cool.
fun. We could all watch it together.
And then
Hookah and everything else, and then we'll record it. Then the next week or
just
whatever.
invite you guys to one of my wife and I's traditions without talking to her. So let me.
Don't say
Riley,
anything.
you're good with this,
Don't
Don't
say
say anything. Let her listen to the show.
And then she'll
Everyone
text
will
us.
get
No,
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll
She'll
start
text us immediately.
smoking some meat and cheeses and stuff, like getting
And some
She's
hookah.
like, oh, what's going on? Some hookah. Oh, you're really excited about tonight.
Oh, did I not tell you? Yeah.
That would work if she didn't listen to this episode.
Yeah.
It is so
But
cool.
she is the social media coordinator.
She's pretty good. She listens to the episode like that, like by
Right away,
Wednesday.
man.
She's on it.
Yeah, whereas Jessica, I'll be like, hey, did you listen to that episode yet? It's 2 days later. She's like, no, Marcus, I haven't listened. I'm busy taking care of your house.
I can see her saying that.
I think at this point everybody knows how cheap and affordable outdoor mini projectors are. I mean, if you have the side of a house that you can use, get one. We watch Hamilton 4th of July night every year once it's dark, and
All the kids?
fireworks. No, it's like 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Have your kid? You stay up till then?
The fireworks are going off
Wow.
everywhere. You can listen to it loud because it's 4th of July.
That is a cool tradition, watching Hamilton on the 4th of July. I think that's
cool.
That's
It's
pretty.
awesome.
Have you read it yet?
No, we have the illustrated book though. But
Are you talking about you or 1776 or his autobiography? Or
1776 is also good, but Hamilton is better. Honestly, it is.
You read it.
I did not read it. I listened to it.
It's long.
36 hours.
he said he listened to it on the trip to Florida, right?
Yeah, good
Yeah.
memory. I told Kelsey that. I'm like, when I'm browsing through Audible, you want to get the most out of your credits. So you look at the most expensive books and the longest hours, but you're like, when am I ever going to have 36 hours to crush a book? But it's 16 to 18 hours one way to Florida.
So what'd you do for the next 30 days?
What do you mean?
Because you hit isn't it a quota? Isn't it like?
Oh, it's not on Spotify. Spotify
No,
gives you a
Spotify,
quota.
you
I bought
auto-
it.
Got it,
on
got it,
Audible.
got
Spotify, you only have a certain amount of
I
listening
have
hours.
like 100 books on Audibles. I've had Audible. Just so you guys know,
Do you even have Agent Allies on Audible?
I do.
That's pretty.
I wasted a freaking credit on it.
Wasted. Notice.
137. I have 137 books on Audible.
So before you knew about Spotify Premium included, you would just go to Audible.
Oh,
That was your
I've been a
thing.
member since 2015.
Oh,
Like this is where 10 years
And
of
they
listening
still
to
don't
books.
sponsor the podcast?
Audible? I'm
Dude,
working
I
on
was
it.
thinking about that. Audible, Total Wine.
Oh.
We should get some sponsors.
Is that where you go? I think
I usually go to
Total
Total
Wine
Wine,
is
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It is like a mall.
I realized that I can just download the app for Total Wine,
it's just ready.
and then
on you.
either on Sunday or Monday, I shop the app
Yeah.
and put it in my cart, and then on my way over here, I stop at Total Wine and grab whatever, little liqueur or spirit or whatever that I need for our drink, and we're good to go.
How does everything fit in your cabinet anymore? What's
Sore subject, Brett.
well, that's what's new.
I mean, people come over, whatever. So I don't have tons and tons of just like spirits that are
Yeah.
all over, but the liqueurs are.
Just tons of
Taking
mixers.
over.
Does your mom or does she show up? Is there a comment ever, or is there?
Nah, man, we're over that.
We're done. We're through that.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
busted
man.
right through that wall.
Good stuff. Well, welcome to the Cover Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Wiggins.
Hey, Brett.
As not always, but 99.9% of the time, to my left is
Marcus Mangus.
sitting to my right is Sir
Remington Ramsey.
We answer 9 questions every week about one of your favorite books or favorite movies. We've already answered one. Sir Remington, second question. What are we covering?
In ancient times, with the lands of Middle-earth, 3 rings were given to the high elves, 7 were gifted to the dwarf lords, and 9 were given to the kings of men. And then they realized too late they were lied to, and the villainous Dark Lord Sauron crafted an all-powerful ring to rule over all Middle-earth. After being lost for centuries, the ring has found its way into the hand of young hobbit Frodo Baggins. When he learns that the ring was created by Sauron, Frodo, along with the alliance of 9 companions, must make the trek to the dangerous land of Mordor to save all of Middle-earth. This movie is The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, 2001 PG-13, 2 hours and 58 minutes runtime, with Elijah Wood, Ian McKellen, Orlando Bloom, Sean Bean, director Peter Jackson. And that 2 hours and 58, by the way, if you do the extended, it's 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty epic.
Did either of you do the extended? For this?
Not
I
this
have
time.
many times, yeah, this time.
It's not like all at the end, right?
It's extended. No. It's extended scenes, cut out scenes.
You
Yeah.
can you have to remember that they added to the length of certain scenes or added a scene that was deleted.
Yep. Have either of you read Lord of the Rings?
I haven't. Not yet.
So I forgot.
Reed does next year, though, so I think I'll probably read it with him.
I forgot that I read it and retained a lot of the knowledge because I'll be watching it and I'll be like, man, I remember
That's
this
not right.
different.
Yeah.
And then I'll look at some of the fun facts and it'll tell you like
Yeah.
the book the book does it differently.
What do you think the first time they made a book into a movie, do you think they started with, it's just acceptable to need to change part of this because it's a movie? Or do you think someone one day was like,
Well,
I think we should change it?
If you
Before
don't,
they
it's
do-
usually not a great movie.
Before they adapted it to movies, they did it to screenwrites. And so you would have a book or a story, and then the screenwrite, it was just accepted that it was an adaptation of the book. So I think it was just a seamless transition into movies.
I just feel like initially it would have been purist, like,
Oh, for sure.
can't change.
For sure. I mean, that's one of the reasons why
everybody
Marcus
will
doesn't
say
like Harry
book
Potter.
the book is better than the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
There are movies that...
You're right that I
it's-
don't like Harry Potter, but I also don't think the Harry Potter movies are that good.
I do.
They're okay.
As someone who has never read the book, I will tell you right now, they're really good.
They're very good.
All right, fine.
They're very good.
But I understand your point. I do. I understand.
You can't compare to the potential of a miniseries for every book. You just can't compare to that.
I get it.
So with what you're given, the ability to make it come to life and dream, like if kids...
So I like the grandeur of it. Like
Yeah.
it was really neat to see Hogwarts
music.
Castle.
Oh,
the
yeah.
music is fantastic. It's just that it moves so fast
Yeah.
that I think that a lot of the actual story gets lost.
And to bring this back to Lord of the
And
Rings,
the character
Peter Jackson, they were trying to get him to do one movie. They were trying to get him to do Lord of the Rings in a 2 to 3 hour movie, and he wouldn't do it. So he bought the rights, wrote the script, and committed everyone to 14 straight. Did you guys know this? 14 straight months they filmed in New Zealand.
yeah.
So everyone there celebrated a birthday, some 2 birthdays. They took time off from their family. Like they lived in New Zealand.
So they filmed 3 movies
filmed all 3
in 14
movies
months. That's
in
actually
14
really
movies.
impressive, right? Isn't I mean,
It is
It
impressive.
is impressive.
It's not impressive that they did 3 films worth of it's typically like 60 to 90 days you're filming a
Got it.
film. Yeah.
got it.
It
Not-
just depends.
not typically, but, like,
it
you
just
can.
it just depends. Yeah.
A lot of the movies we've done on this show were filmed in 30 to 45 days.
Whiplash was really fast.
Yeah, especially short. Yeah.
Well, what do we know going into it?
I remember going to the theater to see one of the releases of Star Wars, and we ran into our neighbor, and he was talking to my dad, and he just said, "Oh, I'm so excited for the Lord of the Rings. Did you guys see that preview? I'm so excited about it." And I had never heard up to that point.
How old were you?
Well, I must have been in either 6th or 7th grade.
Okay.
I had never heard of Lord of the Rings. And so I didn't really think anything of it, but I just remember how
The excitement.
excited he was.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
cool that you remember that.
That made me excited.
There's magic in movies.
Oh, yeah.
There's magic in movies. Like when you're first watching movies in a theater, there's nothing like it.
I agree. This is no secret, but I love going to see movies in the theater. Love it.
It's been a long time. Like I'll probably watch 1 to 2 movies in theaters unless I'm intentional to do more.
That popcorn is so much better. It's so good.
You know what I was thinking about popcorn?
We saw Brett and Riley last time we went to
did?
the theater.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? So I eat popcorn almost every movie at home
Yeah.
when I'm screening it.
Yeah.
But the popcorn's done within 5 minutes.
Dude.
I eat it in the first intro of the movie, and then I just watch the rest of the movie with no popcorn.
Correct. Me too. And at the
It's
movies,
like, at that point, it's like
at the movies, I will get a large, and then we'll all get like those nacho trays and split it up.
yeah.
I will be done before the movie starts.
Exactly.
I took the girls, and that was when we saw you, and we went to go see Chosen, and I went to grab some more popcorn, and it was gone. And I was like, "How did you all eat that huge bucket?"
See, that's fun.
already.
That's fun. Providing popcorn for the whole family. That's pretty fun.
And Imagine has some killer, like, if you sign up to be a member, it doesn't cost any money. You get like
IMAX?
you get free. Yeah, they have IMAX, but it's like free small popcorn when you have 2 tickets, like every time
Oh, that's
that
cool.
you go. And yeah,
And
and
there's lots of little perks.
I know you don't live in Fisher's Noblesville area anymore, but where do you guys go when you go to?
Oh,
a
no,
movie?
we
You
go
go
to
to Flicks.
Flicks
Yeah.
is awesome.
We go to Flicks, and
They
the
just
more
raised the prices on their popcorn.
I'll tell you this
Used to be
much.
$5.
I've been eating very clean, as you guys know, for 2 years now, to the point where like Flicks isn't. The cool part about Flicks is that you can have a full meal and they serve you the whole time, and I
Yeah.
do like that. But since I don't really eat that crap anymore, I'd much rather value a seat
Yes,
that
you need Imagine,
folds down.
dude.
Yeah,
folds
I
down.
don't care about the service.
Heat, cool. You can do
heat.
You can
Kelsey
do
needs
heat.
that
You can
in
do cool.
theaters.
It's.
I mean, have
it's
you guys
awesome.
tried the cuddle seat yet?
No. Was that were you
you?
inviting me to walk into that?
What does
What
it
was-
smell like? Tell me what the cuddle seat.
I've
smells
never
like.
tried it. I was just inviting one of you to come try it with me
Oh,
sometime.
done.
I'll tell you where they don't have cuddle seats.
We'll bring a blanket.
Elkhart. They do not have cuddle
Yeah,
seats in
definitely.
Elkhart.
That would be outlawed. They'd be removed the next day.
I knew it was multi movie. I knew a lot of people that were super into it. I knew Elijah Wood was in it, but I don't know if I found out about it late. Was this
Did
his
you know
first?
who Elijah Wood
I think this.
was?
Yeah, I think this put him on
this
the
was
map.
this was his
He
first
had
big
other
one.
stuff, but
So I
this
heard
is
about
what
it like
put him.
after the fact, probably.
I would have been. I was expecting you to say I knew Rudy was.
I was gonna say you probably knew Rudy.
I was getting there. I knew it was very long.
If Rudy doesn't
Very
make
long.
it into the slam
The
poetry,
slam
I'll be
poetry
very
definitely is
disappointed.
the whole thing's about Rudy.
Yeah, he doesn't. He changed so much as he got older. This is older Sean Astin.
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin.
So what do you mean?
Like he just doesn't look like Rudy anymore.
Well, he
to
gained
me.
40 pounds for this movie.
Well,
That's a fact.
that makes sense then. He just
That's a fact.
Can you
Jack.
imagine? Can you imagine gaining 40 pounds and they're like, by the way, we're going to digitally make you really tiny? That would suck so bad. Like I gained all this weight.
Couldn't you have just digitally
Yeah,
added?
could you? Yeah, exactly.
Well, did
It's
they do
wild.
it digitally or did they? I think they were playing with camera angles.
They
the
did
whole
for a
movie.
lot of stuff, but like there's only so much you can do with that. Like
Yeah.
if you're on a camera
By
screen,
the
and
way,
they're standing right next to each
another-
other.
I had a blast watching this because I watched it with my 2 girls and they were asking all these questions. They were entranced. It was awesome.
Yeah, for the scene where and
Well, 2
this-
of my
for the
girls.
scene where they're right here in the opening where Frodo is riding in
Mm-hmm.
the wagon with Gandalf. Supposedly to get that shot, to get it, like he had to be 9 feet behind Gandalf. So
Yeah.
I don't know how they physically pulled that off. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. But like
Here's-
that is a fact.
really
to say.
impressive.
Another example of how badly Captain America just completely whiffed. Like they did this 20 years, 10, 15 years earlier,
2001.
and they did a great job.
Yeah.
I can't get
By
over.
the way, this is, I mean, I was just, one of my things I was going to say when we were talking about going to the movies is that I just feel like the last few years, there haven't been like, other than Marvel releasing some pretty
I
epic
think
movies.
we're getting a comeback. So
There hasn't been
2020 killed it.
I mean, there's
2020 killed it.
well,
killed what?
Bar-
Killed the ability to have epic movies because they're all going to Netflix and stuff.
Barbenheimer was
Partly.
a big
Okay,
weekend.
but that was 2. That's 2 movies. What I'm saying is in 2001, like I'll pull up the movies that came out in like the 2001s. It was like everyone was
well,
on fire.
I think it's kind
but
of like
they also
football.
weren't filming these big movies during 2020 and 2021.
Well, I think
so you're saying it's coming back because
It feels like
the
it's
movies that
coming-
were 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it feels
Okay.
like it's coming back.
I like
also,
that.
also because of streaming, they've
Yes.
had to. It's changed the industry. It's changed the way that the marketing and stuff works.
Yeah.
That's why one of the movies that I'm excited we're doing is Top Gun Maverick
Mm-hmm.
because it was one of the first movies coming back that was like a big time
And you have to
theater
see it in
movie
theater.
that
Yeah.
you've got to see in theaters.
That's what I was gonna say.
And-
I think it's football versus baseball. Baseball's 162 games, and that's what movies have become.
That's pretty good.
It's just there's so much stuff. Where football, it's like once a week you've got it, and that's what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like it was a given when I was 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. We're going to the movie theater on Friday.
Yeah.
Every Friday.
Yeah.
What was the big movie coming out? And there was I would say a big movie coming out almost every single week is what it felt like.
It felt like. It probably wasn't quite that, but it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just not that anymore. What do you got?
I just
What do you got over there?
I just got a fun fact. I was reading through fun facts, getting ready for the show, and you know how we're going to con and Sundance, and you know, you guys are just like. One of the fun facts of this movie is fans were offered the chance to have their names in the special edition's lengthy closing credits for $39. We need to start doing stuff like that.
Dude.
Can you imagine if the cover podcast
I was actually
appears in the credits?
I was actually
for the
thinking
Lord of the Rings
that I need to go on IMDb and start just make my username the cover podcast
and then
then do my 9
for
words
sure
for every for all of
100%.
these movies.
Yes.
100%. This dude. By the way, I had to go 4 or 5 down to find the best.
Nate
intro.
just volunteered to do that for me.
I love it.
How many people? Does it say how many people paid $39?
Hey, no.
I literally would have to go
I'm
back and
guessing
listen
it was
to all the
hundreds,
episodes.
if not thousands.
Oh no. It
I have
probably.
no idea what I said.
I don't even know how they
Dude,
market.
Lord of the Rings
This is the first time I've ever even heard
is
this.
a deep that's a crew. That's a
Cult.
community that they're serious
Dude,
about.
I've
It
been on Facebook. I've been clicking on these Lord of the Rings memes, and so now it's like all I see in my feed.
Yeah.
And I just keep sending them to producer Nate for the social media.
I need to do more reading on J.R.R. Tolkien because C.S. Lewis had his own radio show and wrote primarily Christian works once he became a Christian. So he was an atheist, set out to prove the gospel wrong, and in doing so proved himself wrong and became a Christian. That's C.S. Lewis' story. Then he wrote Mere Christianity, which is it's basically the story of him coming to Christ. He's doing all this while knowing J.R.R. Tolkien. They're writing at the pub. Then they start influencing each other's writings. And C.S. Lewis writes Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. J.R.R. Tolkien writes The Lord of the Rings. I don't know much about J.R.R. Tolkien's faith, but he has said that this entire trilogy is supposed to have Christ-centered, imagery.
Yeah.
So much so that he
This is definitely allegorical.
yeah. We won't hold that against you. That's for each man to decide for himself. Shout out Knight's Tale episode. Anyway, I just thought it was because we said when we read what C.S. Lewis work did we do? Did we do C.S. Lewis?
Not on this podcast.
We talked about C.S. Lewis, and I can't remember.
We read Mere Christianity for our book club.
Okay, I can't remember why this came up, but I remember thinking C.S. Lewis. J.R. Tolkien used to make fun of C.S. Lewis because he didn't have two.
You've said this before
on the show.
Yeah.
Because we were reading, because you said you read your kids' Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, so I read my kids that. I think it's really good. And then I went to ChatGPT and said, hey, what should I ask my kids to summarize this chapter? And it was really
I just
good.
told Colby that we were going to do Horse and His Boy because she's like all into horses. That book is great.
Horse
too.
and His Boy.
Yeah. It's really, really good.
So what's Prince Caspian? Is that one of
That's
them?
the second
I read
one.
quite a few of them when I was
So Magician's Nephew is technically the first
Magician's Nephew.
Yeah.
one. And then Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And then Prince Caspian. Then Voyage of the Dawn Trader.
Are the other ones as good?
Oh, yeah.
Why does Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe get the fame?
Because it's the one that everybody does first for the movies. But it's not even my favorite of.
I feel like
it's not
it was-
even my
there's
favorite
something
of the
magical
series.
about going into the wardrobe and going to a new world.
It
I'm
was-
pretty sure Prince Caspian just
it
takes
was
place
big
in the world.
before-
Right?
No,
before the movie.
They go through a painting.
They go through another portal. Okay.
Yeah. Or no, that's Voyage of the Dawn. I
Rem, do we
can't
talk
remember
about
Prince
what you
Caspian
knew
is.
going into it when you first saw it?
Just that once I watched it, I was hooked, and I know I read the books, even though it's 1,000 pages and small font. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's tough.
He created
It's a lot.
the Elvish language. It is a language.
I've heard
Like,
that.
people
There are
have-
people that hear.
Well, there's
that
all
people have
sorts of
tattoos.
appendices and all
Oh.
kinds of things. He what Tolkien did, from my understanding, and honestly, we probably should have brought Elliot in for an episode like this because he's as
He's an
nerd
apologist.
as it gets. And what Tolkien did was he said, you've got like these Grecian myths, right? You've got the Chinese and the Oriental thing. Like they all have these myths, ancient myths that people can live up to. And there was no myth in England. There was no narrative. There was no story. There was no something for people to live up to. And so he went about creating an entire world for the English, for Britain. Pretty cool.
This was his response to Greek mythology?
No, I'm saying because the British people had no mythology of their own.
That's what I'm saying. So that was his response to Greek mythology.
Yeah, he was creating it.
This is funny that you're saying that because it's like if you're going to have... So what were we talking about? The Da Vinci Code? People created...
So think about like the
people
Odyssey.
created...
Yeah. There were like church
religions off of the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
I guarantee there's people who like get way too geeked out over Lord of the Rings.
I haven't seen Marcus counting, so I'm just gonna rock and roll.
Oh, he's
it's time for 30-second synopsis. I got some slam poetry ready to go. All right, what's your 30-second synopsis? I thought you'd never ask. Bilbo Baggins found a ring. Gollum, what is that? Gandalf be so wise. Frodo, the purest heart in the Shire. Orcs, the ugliest monsters we've seen yet. So good. So that's where the one simply doesn't meme comes from. The Fellowship of the Ring. I get it now. Who is Boromir and how is he going to mess this up? Aragorn, such a leader of men. He could coach the Colts. Nobody tosses a dwarf. Hero to kill ratio is amazing in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Sam will mindlessly walk to his death to keep his word. And Gimli just wants to kill orcs. You heard?
Rudy.
We didn't get any mention of Precious.
Did you guys know that it was widely regarded as a joke that they were chanting Rudy?
I've heard that. I've also heard soft sides. I also heard...
I don't care about any of that. The fact that he was carried off as a joke and they were chanting his name as a joke, it takes a whole different meaning.
So it's not that different. It's not that different than like James Johnson getting into the game.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Or when the walk-ons get in the
he
basketball
wasn't loved
game.
though.
Okay,
Marcus.
so
that's the difference. He was known as a pain in the butt.
I believe that.
But if that's all
Having met the
true,
man.
and he hoodwinked everyone with the movie, that's
where like
He
the
did.
movie
He really
itself is a standalone. You have to watch it.
It's a
as
good
a
movie.
It almost you almost have to appreciate it as
it's fiction. Yeah, it is.
It is.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, what percentage of the movie do you think is factually true? If you had to guess,
Rudy?
Yes, and Marcus, you have
Or Lord of the Rings.
Rudy.
It's about the same.
That's depressing. You know what though? You have to watch it for what it's worth. I remember when I was Never Meet Your Heroes. When I remember.
Did you come to that breakfast?
I did
did.
this. Yes, I did.
You were there, Brett?
Yeah.
I was there. I was sitting next to Brett.
Oh yeah.
I remember finding out about that long before the breakfast. So the breakfast just broke my heart even more. But I've come full circle now. I'm an adult. I love the movie.
Appreciate the movie.
I love the movie.
Just appreciate the movie.
It's
a great movie.
Yeah,
with a great
that movie, or that breakfast.
We're talking about a breakfast where we heard the real
Rudy Rudiger speak. So I learned Rudy Rudiger was not who I thought he was, and I gave Travis Brown $3,500 like 3 weeks later to speak.
Oh, nice.
So I ended up spending money and ruining one of my heroes all in a morning for you.
Nice.
It's good.
That worked out nice for me. I
call
think.
me
No,
next
it
time.
really did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save you from all that.
What's that?
I could have saved you from all that. Just call me.
Travis did a great job. Shout out Travis. It's good.
He's
all
pretty
right.
good at that. He's pretty good at the speaking.
Oh, dude, he did a great job. It was his crowd too. It was good.
Yeah, he's used to that.
Yeah, it was good. Marcus, 9 words.
All right. An ancient evil is awakened Will anyone stop Sauron?
Sauron. The
So
eye.
so
The
did
all-seeing
you
eye.
decide to add the word "an" in front of ancient because you were at 8, or did you just start with "an" and you were like just rolling with it because you didn't need it? You could have just said ancient evil,
Yeah, I could have.
but you start with it feels better.
I started with it and I kept it.
Have you guys watched Rings of
liked
Power? Have we talked about this?
I've watched the first season.
It gets better. And the first season is good. The second season
Lord
is
of the Rings
phenomenal.
nerds
I
are
can't
not
tell you.
fans.
Then get over
10
it.
10
I'm
years
just
10 years
telling
ago
you that Lord of the Rings nerds
Whatever.
are not fans.
10 years
I
ago-
liked it a lot.
Nerds.
I liked
It's
it a lot.
awesome.
10 years ago when somebody told me it gets better, anything, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but when they told me it gets better, I'm like, all right, cool. Now when somebody tells me it gets better, I'm like, if I get disappointed by this again and commit,
Well, it's like The Office.
How would you
Hours.
remember that you were disappointed?
The Office.
That's my
The
question.
Office went down. The Office went down as like an epic, probably top 10 show in terms of like just fame all time. But if you go back and watch season 1, it's pretty painful at times.
season 1's choppy. Yeah, they're
It's-
figuring it out.
yeah.
It's basically the Michael show. I mean, it's
and even then, it's just like hard to watch. They found their stride in season 2 and
man.
Just
there
think, we're only a year in.
3. I know. That's what I'm saying.
Think about how good we're going to be in 10 years.
dude,
at
some
this.
of those Office episodes, I'm just like, why can't this still be? Why can't we might be going down that route again of real comedy.
Oh yeah, like
Oh,
not getting canceled for saying
Dude,
certain
they're
things.
it's so funny.
It is so funny.
It's so funny.
He wouldn't even know why he's laughing right now.
Oh my god! I was thinking of the disco. What's the cafe disco? The cafe disco is my favorite episode.
Oh, no.
Where they have the extra suite because the Michael Scott Paper Company they folded and came back, but
Yeah.
they still have that as so they turned it into a cafe disco.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That is so. Dude, that is painful. And then Ryan's yeah, that's a good. That's good. But you didn't watch that show, did you?
I
You didn't get into
I
it.
like episodes of that show. I just
You haven't
cannot.
watched the whole thing.
I cannot. If I watch like an episode a night for a week, I'm like, all right, I get it. I'm done. Like
There is-
I just can't.
There's something
And-
about cringe humor that I have a limit to.
yeah.
Like if it makes me more uncomfortable than actually laughing,
See, The Office doesn't do that. There's things that do that to me.
like what? Top 9 things that make you cringe.
Okay. Okay, so I watched Nickelodeon growing up.
Okay.
The show Rugrats,
Yeah.
if you rewatch it back,
Yeah.
is cringy.
Why?
There's
I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Ren and Stimpy is definitely cringy.
yeah, I haven't rewatched that, but I could see that. I could see that being very cringy.
Yeah.
Rugrats, I can't.
Because all the kids disobey and stuff, right? They
um,
talk back.
It's definitely not Bluey. I'll tell you that
It's
much.
not. It's not Bluey. It's yeah. There's moments that characters put themselves in situations that I'm just like I can't watch to see what happens. To this. I can't do it.
It's like a train wreck, but you
Have you
can't
been
turn it off.
showing it to your girls or something? Or what?
No,
Oh.
no.
Oh, he and Riley just watch it at night.
we just watch it.
Fourth
for fun.
flipping on Hamilton.
It's just
There's just so much good TV that really makes you think or hits on different things.
We're
that
back on The Chosen again.
I have trouble. No, not necessarily just not that. But
So I didn't. Watch,
I just have trouble like devoting the amount of time.
did they
to
all drop
something
yet?
like-
Did all the episodes drop? For
No, June 15th. Or
Oh,
something.
jeez, lucky you. Well, you didn't get to see them all.
I didn't get to see the last episode.
What are we talking about?
Come on, Ezra. Well, you could see them all for
Chosen?
the entire season
Yeah.
in theaters last month,
Mhm.
but his kid decided to be
I
thrown
was
up
there
everywhere.
for the final 3 episodes,
Mm.
and we watched 2 of the last 3,
Yeah.
and we just started the final episode.
Can you not
of the
wait
season.
to find out what happens?
And
You get a call.
and I got a call, and my son had thrown up like 3 times. And my parents were like, "We're leaving now."
To
Good
go-
for them. When I found
So
out
that they didn't
when I
get
found
sick.
out they called you and said that, I was like, I'm really proud of them because not all grandparents, you know.
That's not a typical Kathy move.
No,
but
no.
She was not having any
I appreciate
of it.
not wanting to get sick.
Yeah, no kidding, Mr. Germaphobe.
Yeah, you've
over
got
there.
fan.
it's an issue for you. It's
Okay.
You would recognize that it's too.
What
too
made you
much.
think, Brett?
I just don't want to be sick if it's going.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the
No,
conversation.
but listen, if I have a big week coming up, I have more big
When's the
weeks.
next week you don't have a big week?
This is a year where I just can't afford to get sick. I'm dead serious.
I remember vividly. I
I'm telling you.
remember vividly, like running Cutco trainings, and people would just ask me, and I'd be like, "Oh no, I can't get sick."
Yeah, well, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
I-
And then,
no,
but then
I'm
when
not sick. I
but
can't
then
get
when I
sick.
look back, I'm like, yeah, I was sick.
By
I
the way,
played
is
through that.
dude, for
Is this
sure.
is this Jen mixed with Jen?
Dude, the end. Wait till you get to the end. I'm struggling with this
It's
last
gin.
week.
It's gin with Contro or
Three
however
different
you say
types of
that.
gin.
No,
Or we can. Are we
And then
drinking
lemon.
white darling?
By the
white
way,
girl?
white lady.
I'm not
White
joking
lady.
when I say I really want thyme in all of my gin drinks now.
Yeah, little
Not basil.
rosemary,
Yeah.
little thyme.
Yeah, Marcus, you asked the question. I liked it.
Parsley, sage,
What made us stop and think,
rosemary, and thyme.
Give me your goods. Don't hold back.
This movie's so romantic.
Oh, it's
Um,
yeah.
fantasy. You just want to live in the Shire. You want to
Yes.
live there. Yeah, I mean, they literally turned parts of New Zealand into the Shire.
The
And you can go visit.
You can visit the pub.
the scene that I wanted to be a part of most, Bilbo and Gandalf just
Smoking.
puffing away,
Yeah.
looking over the town, all the people, just two dudes hanging out,
Oh, yeah. That's the dream.
swapping stories.
That's basically what we do without the puffing.
You know where
Yeah.
I'm coming around to in the world that I would have never said like even 10 years ago is Kentucky, Tennessee is awesome.
Yeah. I agree. Like
I've been
Appalachia.
driving a lot more there,
Yeah.
and like especially at this time of year, that's exactly where I would.
And in the
as long as
fall.
it's close to like a lake.
And in the fall is
Yeah.
fantastic.
You like the remoteness?
I like the
or
remoteness. I love the drive. I love the hills, the green
hills.
plains.
When you get out of Indiana, driving through Pennsylvania to New York, you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
we are flat.
even
Oh,
southern
yes.
Indiana,
which
gets
is actually a
very hilly.
blessing. Which is actually a blessing
That we
for-
don't. That we
that
live.
we live in the flats. You know what I mean? Like, I personally love living in Indiana and traveling to other places. I think it's a great place to live, and I'm totally cool traveling to get my ocean, traveling to get my hills. You know,
Yeah.
I was thinking about 465. There's always construction. Like since I've been alive, part of 465 has construction. But if you go anywhere any other big city, traffic is 10 times
It's
worse.
so much worse.
Yeah.
Like Indiana's infrastructure is great.
Yeah,
the
just think if we just had mountains all the time, like
That'd just be a hindrance.
then you just
You wouldn't enjoy it.
You
I
would
might be
enjoy
the
it.
minority here. Pretty beautiful. pretty beautiful to look at. I don't know.
I
I
enjoy
was
going
kidding.
to see
You,
that.
by the way,
was
you
being
can see
sarcastic.
mountains that are very far away.
I
was
will
being
be a
sarcastic.
snowbird. I will be a snowbird, though. 100% chance of Remington leaving in the winters as soon as his kids are grown.
Surprises zero of us. How are we going to film the podcast?
We'll film them all in the fall and spring.
Or we'll just
summer.
all be
Just not the
snowbirds.
winter. Yeah, that's right.
Is Florida the move?
Yeah. That's
Is
where
it?
people in Indiana go. It's the law.
Yeah. So
It's-
instead of that,
What about, like, South
South Carolina is exactly what I was
The
going to
only
say.
problem with South Carolina is it gets cold.
Savannah,
Like it gets
Georgia.
cold.
Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah.
Savannah,
Like your mouth
Georgia is
full
a
of
very
the
cool town.
molasses.
Dude, we got to talk about
Like a
this
southern
movie.
drawl.
It's so good. And
Oh, that's true. We should probably do that.
it's so good.
Yeah. So that's the scene that epitomized Remington's thought for me.
Why is it called
somebody
Mr. Frodo?
somebody clicked on this and they're like, "Oh, another podcast about Lord of the Rings," and they're 36 minutes in.
No, man, we riffed on Tolkien hard. We got some good Tolkien facts out there.
They're probably like, "They're not even right about Tolkien."
All right, to get back to the romantic part, I like the subtle views of small characters delivering like a couple seconds of brilliance. So when Gandalf again is riding into the Shire, and they're playing that beautiful music, and we'll talk about the composer. There's this angry old guy sweeping his porch, and the kids are coming out. They want to see the fireworks, and Gandalf it looks like he's going to let him down. And all of a sudden, the fireworks goes off, and the kids go
I love
crazy.
this too.
And this old man breaks down and starts laughing, and his wife, who's a curmudgeon, comes behind him, and then he glares again. It's subtle. It's 5 seconds, and it's brilliant.
It is good. It's
When
really
you
good.
have so many elements like that, on top of the brilliance of the acting and the storyline, it just creates an epic.
So another thing that just to put a little pin in Brett's them sitting down and smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Can either of you do cool smoke rings like that?
You know we can.
I can do smoke rings.
Yeah, I know you can. The audience doesn't.
I'm
I'm trying
sorry,
to pump you up,
Megas.
Rem.
I cannot-
I just give me flowers. Don't make me brag.
I can't blow a sailboat through
Yet.
that ring
Yet.
Yet.
But I can.
Yeah,
yes,
we
do
instruct our
some
kids not to say
rings.
they can't. They can't yet.
Mhm. Exactly.
That was good.
All right. I liked the story at the beginning, just kind of setting up the entire world for us. Did you guys like that or not? Because it was fairly long. Like
Well, it's
my
interesting.
girls, we
The
had
intro to
we
the
had the
movie-
whole intro to the movie with this big story, and I kind of liked it, especially as somebody that was gonna have to talk about this movie. But the girls were hilarious. Once that happened, and then we get into the Shire, they're like, "Can we watch the movie now?"
Yeah.
It was kind of so.
So they
it's
really
interesting.
viewed it as an intro.
Yeah.
They really viewed it that way.
Well, it's interesting. So they went back and forth on who was going to do the intro to the movie, whether it was going to be Elijah Wood or Ian McKellen. Because
Ian McKellen is the girl.
No, Ian's
Oh my
Gandalf.
gosh.
Ian's Gandalf.
Hold on.
He's the only one
Well,
that was
neither of them
nominated
did
That
the
for an
intro
is
then.
sacrilegious.
Time
For
out.
an
But
Oscar.
I thought you were saying who
Let me
narrated.
finish and you'll find out the answer.
Well, I have a thought
No,
on this.
I'm just saying that we just need to stop right now and just say that one person on the Cover podcast that
Does not
talks about
speak.
movies all the time
not speak.
just said, "Is Ian McKellen the girl?"
I thought he was talking
And
about
that's like sacrilegious.
So, Rem, you're
It
talking
doesn't-
about who
but-
is going to narrate the opening? Is
and
that
it's
what
not
you're
McClellan, it's McKellen. But
Yeah, you idiots.
okay, so
Okay.
listen. They were basically, Brett, for your sake, Gandalf or Frodo
Yep.
was supposed to narrate the opening that opening dialogue. They chose the head elf, essentially. She's the one that's in the forest. She's the one.
Is she Satan from Passion?
She is not Satan from Passion.
Wow, sounded like
because
her.
She's actually attractive, and Satan from Passion is not.
Sounded like her.
Okay,
Sounded like her.
just anyone whispering with a female British accent sounds like her. Apparently,
And
that's what my ChatGPT sounds like now. I said
Satan.
I said do it. Maybe. Hey, there might be something there. No, I said use a British accent. I didn't like that. I was like, use an Austrian accent, and I like that one. So now ChatGPT speaks Austrian to me.
German.
I'll try that next.
No,
if
I'm
if
gonna-
I'm in
no,
a bad
Austrian.
mood.
Austrian,
you know what?
German.
No, I'm going to say
That's our listeners. Those are our peeps.
I want you to
That's our
speak
people.
like an English person trying to speak.
Have you
in-
done that?
No, but I'm going to now.
Okay, good.
I want you to speak like an English person that's trying to speak Irish.
Because of Ocean's 11?
No, just because of what
Oh.
you just said. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna- yeah.
Just tell him to speak like Don Cheadle trying to have a British accent.
He did great. I don't know what people did. Such
He said himself he didn't do great. Okay, moving on.
Yep.
So anyway, that was one of the fun facts is that they were trying to figure out, and they ultimately went with the elf. And I'm glad they did because I think that gave the story a depth to the world existing for 2,500
Because she's been
years.
around for that long.
She's been around that long. They've been-
Exactly.
she said,
It had to be an elf.
Elrond said, I was there 3,000 years ago
Yeah.
when, what's his face?
the king.
Yeah, it would have been kind of weird if Frodo or Gandalf did it. I don't know if that would have served the same purpose.
Yeah, I don't think that it wouldn't have. Not that
Good
we
for
would have
them.
noticed then, but I think that adds a depth.
Could have probably pulled it off with Gandalf, but Frodo wouldn't have made any sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
What
It
would
could
you
have worked
do?
with Bilbo, but you guys, I wanted to give this movie a 9, and I'm not going to, not to spoil what I am going to give it. But the reason I'm not going to give it a 9 is because The Hobbit is better, and I have reasons for that. But we'll get there.
Same actor, Bilbo, or no?
No.
No.
No, it's have you haven't seen The Hobbit?
Dude, why do you even ask these questions?
You're gonna love The Hobbit.
Well, you know who the Hobbit is in The Hobbit. You know
Hobbit.
who Bilbo
No.
is in The Hobbit.
Tell
Hobbit.
me who the Hobbit is in the Hobbit.
I bet
Hobbit.
you'll recognize him. You know how I know you'll recognize him?
Is he in a show?
Because he's in the Marvel Universe.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
Who is he?
Oh, Paul Rudd, let's go! Fantastic.
No, he's like...
He's an extra
he's
in
the
Spider-Man.
agent. No, He's in multiple movies.
Speaking of
he's
agent.
he's the
Oh,
the
yeah.
agent,
I know
he's
you're
the
going with
agent
that.
from Black Panther.
Every time,
okay.
every time Elrond
that
got up
guy.
to speak at the Fellowship, I was like, Mr. Anderson.
Well, he talks the same way.
He
Almost.
does. He overacts in this movie a little bit, I feel like.
I'll come along for that, right? I
But-
don't disagree.
As the only person in this room that has actually played Bilbo Baggins before, I'm going to disagree with you, Remington.
That what?
I think that the Lord of the Rings series is better than The Hobbit.
Okay. You think the series and everything, the movie is better than
I think
Hobbit
the movies
series.
are better, yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Agree to disagree. I love both. I
It
love
might
both.
be because you've read the book.
I
or
read books.
You know what I love?
No, I don't think I do
because
not.
The Hobbit is a children's book.
Yeah, I don't.
It is not three movies.
I
worth.
don't think the Hobbit book is better than Lord of the Rings, but the movie, I think they learned the first time. They made some mistakes that they've cleaned up in the Hobbit. It's just cleaner. The Bilbo's character is
Well, it
more
came out with it
likable.
20 years
the
later.
number one thing is I think Bilbo's character is more likable. Frodo's a little, puss.
He's pure though. He's pure. He's the only one that
So
genuinely.
he's being weighed down by the ring.
Mm-hmm. So was Bilbo, but he was
Not the same.
he was on a little bee.
Well, I don't disagree that he was a little B, as you're saying, but he's pure about it. He knows he's the one. Gandalf
Who is the hero in this movie?
So okay,
Who's the hero in this movie? Who's the hero in the three movies?
We are jumping.
Samwise Gamgee.
Okay,
Sam is
time
the
out.
hero.
Time out. I don't know everything that happens afterwards, but here's my question: Is it the friendship to Frodo, or is it actually the ring that drives Sam? Do
It's
we
the
know?
Friendship. It's no, it's his commitment and it's the friendship.
Yeah.
You guys are thinking about that question a little bit.
However, you're exactly you're.
I think
you're
he's on mission
definitely
too.
wrong.
He finishes the job,
though. He says,
but the reason he committed in the
Actually-
first place is his friends.
"Actually, you are wrong."
You're wrong.
That's
It
what
is
Marcus
not
just said.
Samwise Gamgee.
Who is it?
I mean,
Gandalf?
Samwise is a hero,
Yeah.
but Frodo had to bear the weight.
I would also say
Samwise didn't have the same weight to bear.
The
Aragorn
only
or
person
Aragorn. Aragorn
who can
or
be
Aragorn.
considered more of a hero in this trilogy is Gandalf.
Then Samwise.
Maybe Pippin.
Then Samwise.
Then Sam. By the way, Pippin has a gorgeous voice.
Aragon or Aragorn.
You haven't seen the second one.
Aragorn?
Yet. Aragorn.
Aragorn.
Aragorn,
I think
technically.
he's actually plays a pretty big pivotal role in this, seeing the bigger
Just wait
picture,
till the third movie.
allowing Frodo to go. I think he's a leader of
Brett,
men.
I'm gonna
He's-
throw this out there. I think you should read this book. I don't know how much time you have in the summers when you're selling knives, but when you get the next time, I think you would thoroughly enjoy this book.
I only have 20 hours left on Shoe Dog, so
Your
once I'm
girls will
complete-
read it.
No,
in
you should
seventh
read
grade,
it. Don't
so
listen to it. Read
Your
it.
girls will read it. In seventh
I
grade.
did ring. What's
Really?
Mhm.
Wow. So Sir Christopher Lee, just a fun fact for you guys, read this every year since it came out.
Jeez.
He's the guy that played Saruman.
Yeah.
He's the only one in the cast,
Saruman, right?
Saruman, that
Yeah.
had actually read it. I think he died. He did. He
did
died.
die.
He died at age 93, but he read Lord of the Rings one time a year, every year since it came out.
Wow.
And so he was super pumped when they came out with this and he was the first person cast.
Saruman is the white wizard looking guy.
Yeah.
And then the name of the evil is
Sauron.
Sauron.
Mhm.
I thought for a minute that Saruman
Mm-hmm.
was being possessed by. I thought it was a Voldemort situation.
Not quite.
at
Not
first.
not far off though.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
the whole crystal ball thing. There's a character in the second one that actually is possessed by Sauron.
Got it.
So that's an interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's close.
Interesting take.
But he's definitely a sellout, right? He's definitely a if you
instantly.
can't beat him, join him.
Yeah,
I forgot how quickly they jumped
Sauron-
into that. So in the book, Gandalf is friends with him. They play up the friendship a lot more.
Yeah.
It was like a clear
Well, he's
that
a mentor.
Gandalf was
It was a
showing.
mentorship, yeah.
Gandalf was showing up as a friend.
Yeah.
They made that clear.
And Gandalf is betrayed.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sauron has betrayed
He wanted
Saruman
power.
has betrayed the entire order, because he has quote unquote seen the light.
Yeah.
No
This
one
is-
is
this is
going.
happening.
No one's going to be able to resist
We
his
need to
power.
join him.
We might as well join because we will become. We will. be the
Otherwise,
power.
we're dead.
When Frodo is thinking about giving up and he hears Gandalf's voice, kind of a repeat of what Gandalf has already said to him in the past about the only thing you control is how you basically react with the time that you've been given, whatever.
Mhm.
Is that a hint of Gandalf's return in future movies?
What do you mean?
I don't think that
No.
that particular remembrance is a
Got it.
foreshadowing.
So that was a true him remembering.
Gandalf
quotes. That was
dies.
Marcus just gave it away. Good for you. All right, great. Can't wait to see Gandalf in number 2.
Brett,
It's going to be awesome.
Listen, I have not been shocked at the last 30 episodes of movies that you have not seen. I am quite frankly shocked that you
Appalled.
have never seen Lord of the Rings. I don't get it.
Love it, man.
I don't get
Love
it.
Well, this
I'm
happened
so
with Star
excited,
Wars.
Dude,
for you.
I will say
This
though,
happened with Star Wars.
I'm
so excited for you.
Watching this with the girls would have been kind of like watching it with Brett. Probably they're asking me all these questions.
no way.
They're asking me all these questions about what's coming next, and I'm just like, I'm not going to tell you the
Yeah.
answer. And they're like, but you have to tell me.
Are you that kind of guy? Do you ask questions?
No, but I do want. We need
He's
to do the
asking
next
right
one.
now.
What are we doing?
He's
I'm totally
asking
down.
right now.
When- We need to do the next one.
I'm totally down.
Instead of
two
Mean
episodes
Girls
next. No,
and-
2 episodes next week. It's fine.
We're going to
It's
do
fine.
both
Wow.
movies.
It's fine.
6 hours worth.
It's fine.
Just go back to back to
Alright.
back
We're good.
and just drop
we'll do
them all.
We'll drop part 2 and 3. It'll be a special release. You're welcome, cover fans and Germans.
I need
All
to
right.
see it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm in.
done.
I need to see it.
You talked me
Can't
into it. I already watched Two
I love
Towers.
how in order for
I didn't
Brett-
take notes
What's
on it,
great
though.
is in order for Brett to just justify watching this movie on his own, we have to do a cover
Okay,
episode.
okay.
for
No,
him to
what's even
watch
more
it.
funny is that this is by far Brett's busiest time of the year, and we just committed to him to like 7
9
hours
hours.
of
hold on,
movies.
hold on. We need to bump up The Godfather soon, though, because I watched that thinking we were covering it and have notes on it. So
Same
we
thing with
we
Inglourious Bastards. I have so many notes.
We're never doing
We're
Glorious
never gonna do
Bastards.
it.
Okay, question: who is the Lord of the Rings?
Sauron. Is that supposed to be a thinker?
So, do you feel like that carries throughout all?
They were all deceived. So they gave out these rings
Yep.
to the men, to the elves, to the dwarf. They gave these rings out.
What was okay? So can you pause there for a second?
Yeah.
So they don't show any. What he just said is in the movie.
Yep.
She said they were given the rings, but what's interesting is they don't explain who gave them. But in the Rings of Power,
They do.
They show you.
Yeah.
Who makes these rings? So let me ask you something. What are people saying about the Rings of Power that they? What are the geeks?
I have no idea.
They don't. You don't tell you.
No, I spend no time on all
They
these. like,
tell you
Reddit
the
threads and all that
backstory.
stuff.
Essentially, Sauron, takes
Plays
the
a
form,
huge role.
takes a
in-
role in making these rings for the elves. They're the ones that get the first 3
to give them perceived
give-
power.
No,
to
it's supposed to give them like actual like supernatural power to rule the right way. Essentially, is what
Got it.
this.
but then he still creates a ring for himself to
At
be
the end in Mordor,
to
he
rule
forges
them all.
one to rule them all.
One
ring,
ring
to rule
So they
them
were
all.
they were basically all deceived.
19 subpar rings. One
One to rule them all.
one to rule them all.
Yeah.
Basically, he gave out 19 handcuffs without telling them that they were handcuffs.
Yeah, they all got deceived.
But what's interesting is the ring only for normal people just makes you invisible.
So that's one question. I
and
wrote
lets
down.
him see where you are.
That's
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
question I wrote down.
Yeah.
You have an invisible ring that makes you invisible.
Yeah.
What do you do with said ring?
You
Like,
find,
what kinds of things
Yeah.
do you do while invisible?
oh, I wasn't ready for this quiz.
This is top 9 things you do while invisible.
I mean, I think going.
I think you should drive your boat while invisible. People would be freaking out.
just veering in and out of.
Drive a car. Well, that
Yeah.
might not be as big of a deal anymore.
Dude, walk into the Super Bowl and watch it from the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
For sure.
be
Exactly.
awesome.
Like, what kinds of things can you...
Yes.
Oh, get in the game and tackle somebody.
Yeah, well, hold on. Yeah, because you. Yeah,
Trips and falls.
Yes.
You just hold out your leg.
You are the reason the
only person
Cleveland
you still
Browns
couldn't
finally
tackle,
win a championship.
you still couldn't tackle Saquon Barkley.
What about,
You'd run into him and fall over.
What about like if you were invisible and we had something worked out for golfing, right? So it's on par 3 or whatever.
You just stand on the putting green.
You just
and roll
stand
it.
down there and you hit the ball, and then the ball just keeps rolling somehow. Or if it goes out into the woods, you just throw
I
it out
used to
into the.
spend an ungodly amount of time thinking about stuff like this. I used to think, okay, if you could be the best rock star or the greatest athlete in the world, which would you choose? And I would spend hours taking notes on which I would choose as if it was going to be an option. Neither one of them panned out.
I did love this part of the movie that we're covering, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
He puts the ring on the pub.
When the title of the movie is a quote in the movie, I love that.
What's the title?
Fellowship of the Ring. They literally said Fellowship of the Ring, and it just felt like a climax. It felt good. I don't know. I loved that. That doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we
You
had
must
the
have been really excited.
falling action afterwards.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. What's after falling action? And you got
Conclusion.
conclusion. Yeah. Well, it's really not a conclusion.
This
but
is why you love Rudy so much. They say the title like 100,000 times in that movie.
Rudy.
Have you ever played the movie game with the movie Rudy?
Every single time. Climax for Brett.
We took that question off of the 9.
I did think it was interesting. Gandalf doesn't trust himself with the ring. Like, he won't take it. And somehow...
He said the ring would be used through me.
Yeah.
He would want to use it for good, but the evil would be used through him.
Which is what Saruman does, but without the ring. You know? And then everybody's searching for said ring. And men... You know, they want power above all is something that is said in this. And that ring can control all of these different entities. And you've got to go find this creature, this hobbit, who is completely content to just live in this, you know, society where everybody just apparently gets along all of the time and has forever and is happy-go-lucky. And he's very content. And you've got to find that specific creature who, I guess, could never lead or be powerful in that way. And that's the only type that can take it all the way to the end.
I find myself just as impressed with somebody like Aragorn, who's so aware of...
Aragorn.
Aragorn. It's gone.
That's Aragon. Aragon is a different book series.
Aragorn.
Oh, well, his ability to be
It's
self-aware
like Grandpa
enough.
would say Warsh.
Do you think he actually is not capable of handling the ring without taking advantage of it? Or do you think he's
so.
just
What does the ring represent? This is an allegory. What does the ring represent?
There's
It's pretty simple.
evil.
sin? Yeah, I mean, they become slaves to sin is my everybody who has the ring or one of the rings.
Yeah, even Elijah Wood, even Frodo, who is seemingly meek and unencumbered by power, struggles with the ring.
He struggles mightily with the ring. It's essentially Christ going all the way and saying, like, my body is willing, right? But take this from me if you can. Like, yes. I want to do these things.
For Frodo, it's not power that he desires; it's security, it's safety, and so he looks to putting it on anytime he's in trouble. So it's like,
I just wonder if it's Aragorn's, if it's his knowledge of his bloodline that messed it up.
Oh, totally.
Or if it's really him, you know? Like, is he actually capable? Or is he just so self-aware that somebody in his bloodline made this mistake that he's like, I could do it too, I'm not.
That's what he says.
I mean, that's what what's her
said
face is.
To Arwen.
She's trying to encourage him, right?
Yeah.
And like, hey, you're not them. You're better than that. How does he prove that he's better than that, though? He literally gives it back. Yep. He could take that ring from him anytime
that's
he
what
wants.
I'm saying. He's the most impressive human in this, or whatever he is.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the most impressive human, for sure.
Great.
And he is a man. He is a human.
Yeah. He is a man.
Twins, by the way, play an amazing
Definitely not twins.
Not even close.
No?
Not even close.
What are they? Just all
One of
look
them
that
was
way?
on Lost, and the other one wasn't.
I think that's
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
racist. Just say they all look the same. That's weird.
He's a musician.
But it's
First of all-
Pippin and who? Pippin and what?
Mary.
That's why
Mary?
you said he has a great
Mary
voice.
is-
Mary.
Is that why you said he had a great voice? Is because of Lost?
No, the other one, Pippin. Pippin has a great voice. And in Twin Towers, he sings for the king.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Their role is awesome, and one of my, I was so mad at them when they were making the fire,
Oh, yeah.
but then I realized they were making bacon,
Yeah.
and I was like, I
Crispy
get it.
bacon.
I understand.
Pippin's so
I
excited.
did.
get
I
it.
did write this down as far as things that make me think. I said, hanging out with hobbits is like hanging out with Rim.
I knew this was coming.
Always hungry.
I knew this was coming.
Always thinking about food.
It is interesting how many mistakes we make when we're hungry.
How many? You specifically. I mean, I don't know if anybody listening has ever hung out with Rim. If you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But this man, like, we will get done eating breakfast, and he will be talking about lunch because everything throughout the day has to be centered around what meals he's having and when.
I just thought everyone was like this.
No.
I just thought everyone was romantic.
I will tell
about
you.
food.
I will tell you right
my
now.
Family,
for
my
Mother's
family's
Day,
romantic. Trev is romantic.
For
about
Mother's
food.
Day, we announced a 1 p.m. lunch. I guarantee the second we announced that, everyone was like, "That's ruined the whole day."
Oh, no,
o'clock?
I'm used to it.
No,
I'm
he
used
had-
to it. But our workaround
no,
is
he
we
had-
bring chips
he
and
had-
dip.
He had 11sies.
There's a
Yeah,
picture.
I love
There's a
these.
picture of him, his mom, his dad, and Kelsey, all
Around the island? Just around the
vulturing
island, just,
the chips and queso. It's hilarious.
So Kelsey goes, okay, so we announced, so Riley goes, we announced lunch at 1. And she goes, okay, I'm just going to tell you, Rim's going to want to bring chips and dip so that he can eat before that. Is that okay? And so we brought Chewy's creamy jalapeno queso
so
and what we
good.
had the other night at the
Those
cupboard.
chips, those are so light.
good. I used to hate that. I was like, they're so brittle.
those are
Now I
Chili's
love
chips.
them.
Those are
Yeah,
those are
Chili's
Chili's.
came
They're
first.
greasy.
I'd see them as Chewy's chips because I didn't know people ate at Chili's. To be honest with
That's a
you,
very
Dude,
good
that was our
point.
go-to a
To
couple
be
years
honest,
ago.
yeah.
I think it was like maybe like post-COVID for some reason.
I
really hit
remember
hard.
you guys talking about that, and I remember Riley talking about Chili's, and I was like, I don't understand.
And
Like Chili's and Applebee's are
Did
like
you guys
the
used to
same
eat
to
at
me.
Texas Roadhouse with the peanuts and the rolls?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
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 Oh yeah. They've got
We'll
a
still go to Texas Roadhouse now and then because
Really?
their kids menu is fairly reasonably priced, and you can get like their pork chops pretty good.
We are spoiled. Our kids love Parks Place Pub. So we eat there a lot.
Dude,
We
that
eat there a
Power
lot.
Bowl, by the way,
Oh yeah.
that's delicious.
Twice a week.
So good.
Twice a week. I just thought everyone was romantic about food like I was. And I also intermittent fast. So like I'll go 8 and 16. So when I eat, like it's between those 8 hours and I'm on. I'm like, let's eat. So that's why I get so hungry.
I don't think you're normally fasting when you're hanging out with me.
Did we talk about
skips over it.
did
That's
we
good.
think so.
Did we talk about the 3-hour fast? Or 3-day? I'm
Three-
sorry, 3-day fast?
Oh no, you did a water fast
With water
I
only.
did a 72-hour water only fast. No, I had coffee, 1 cup of coffee, and I had electrolytes. But for 3 days, I had no food,
Nice.
nothing. Man, it was an experience.
I've done that once before, and I had trouble working on day 2.
Really,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
my
you can
body was
definitely-
in like full detox mode.
it definitely.
But I also ate a lot worse at the time than I do presently.
And that's interesting too, because I think a lot of people will be like, well, if I'm going to go on a 3-day fast, I'm going to crush a pizza the day before. And so I did some research on it. I didn't just say, okay, I'm doing it, because I think I would have done that. I think I would have eaten everything and be like, all right, well, I mean, if I'm going on a fast, I'm going to go out. But what that does is it just makes your body rely on the last thing you ate for way longer, and
Yeah.
it's just not good.
So what is the go-to? What is
The go-to is eating very clean the last day, and then introducing fruit in small meals, and when you introduce food back to your system, doing it a certain way too, so it doesn't beat you up.
I need to start prepping like that for when I'm on Survivor,
Do you really want to go on Survivor?
for sure. 100%.
Really?
Yeah, and I've already decided when I go, I'm not going to put like.
I would rather watch
I'm-
you on Naked and Afraid.
I'm not going to put my. I'm
I'd-
going to put that I'm a podcast host.
I'd
That's what I'm going to put.
I'd pay to
I've
see
already
you.
decided.
I'd pay to see you on Naked and Afraid.
co-host?
Naked and Afraid would
Nick.
be very difficult.
Over Survivor?
Way
You just
harder.
want to manipulate
So
people.
would you play
Yes.
it? Would you?
I see Survivor as like
It's
one
a
of the
people
greatest games.
Would
ever.
you
Yeah.
play it? So you wouldn't play it honest at all.
I would let the
Did
game
you-
come to me.
Did you guys know I had Rudy or not Rudy?
Yeah.
Rupert on my podcast.
Well, you had Rupert and you had Scott Pollard.
and I had Scott Pollard.
Yeah.
Who was also.
I remember.
You were on the Scott Pollard.
I was on the
episode.
Scott Pollard episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rupert was fascinating though, because Rupert created a nonprofit for kids that were to get them off the streets. So he's teaching them how to not steal from your friends and lie and stuff. And so we got into it. I was like, dude, you did all those things on the show.
Yeah.
How do you justify that? And so we talked about the difference between being on a game, like doing rules,
Dude,
within the game versus like
I
life.
love his season that he first showed up is so fascinating because they're the whole theme is pirates.
Yeah.
And they get off and they have to go and trade for all of this stuff. And he literally just steals
Yeah, he steals their
everybody's
shoes.
stuff. It's so funny.
Yeah, he steals shoes, and he ends up winning, which is the crazy.
Well, he never
Well,
won.
I'm sorry, no, he won. No, he did. He won the celebrity one
He won the fan vote
for the first one.
that got him $1 million. He never once won.
I'm
He was
pretty
on there
sure the
5
second-
times.
There was a fan
He never
vote for $1
won.
million.
Yeah.
There was for the first All Stars. So he was on like season 9, and then season 10 was the first All Star one. So he did them back to back, and then at the end, I think of season 10, the fans were voting for all kinds of different things.
Dude, the way they do
and
it
the
now-
fans got to vote for $1 million winner, and that's how he won.
Yeah, yeah.
The way they do it now,
by
being
the
like
way, guys-
21 days, they're churning out
29.
29
Yeah.
days.
That dude's legit. By the way, he gave most of that to the foundation.
Yeah, it's awesome.
that's
Maybe
awesome.
maybe all of it. Like
I told Colby that when I win, she gets a horse. But other than that,
where are you gonna put that
I haven't
horse?
promised
You
anything
gotta
else.
move, bro.
Well, I'm gonna move.
All right.
Yeah, that's
It's been a year, so
yeah.
What else made us stop and think?
there was
before
a
we go to
period of
quotes?
time where I thought that Marcus would average 3 moves every 3 years.
I've been in the same place for 7 years.
You
almost.
have. It's been something.
Yeah.
What'd you ask, Brett?
Is Gimli the best or what? Like, he just wants to kill bad dudes.
You know
Like, you
what the
gotta
funny-
have one of those guys.
He's the smallest guy in the movie, but he's actually the tallest guy in the movie in real life. Isn't that crazy? He's 6'1". He's the tallest actor in the movie.
so
Doesn't that blow your
everything was
mind?
adjusted.
Doesn't that blow your mind?
It does. They did a great job. Again, Marvel, reach out. Figure this out.
There were some sweet, fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The flame to the face, when Aragorn throws that flame into the face of the whatever you call those dudes. That was awesome. When he just like has that torch, whips it, and it just
So speaking of battle
hits him in
scenes,
the face.
What's the amount of kills that they rack up? In
well,
this
he count.
movie?
They
Significant.
count. Do they say it in this movie, or is it the next one where they Gimli and
I
Legolas
don't
are telling
remember.
each other?
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Legolas and Gimli always count.
They're counting and they're telling each other how many they got. I think it's in the first one.
yeah.
It's a
Dude,
lot.
Listen to this. Legolas. And by the way, Orlando Bloom was 2 weeks out of drama school to get this role.
This
Dude,
was
does
his
that not blow
first
your
movie.
mind? Oh yeah.
Orlando Bloom.
Wow.
What a run right out of. I mean, to do this
And
and,
he's
then
good,
the
too.
pirate stuff. I mean, Troy.
That's not even his best work. His best work is Kingdom of Heaven.
He
I'm
said-
just talking about in terms of money made.
You have
Yeah.
brought up Kingdom of Heaven so much.
It's such a good movie.
We need to do it.
It's such a good movie. So listen to this. Legolas arrows in the final battle are computer generated. It was believed to be physically impossible for even the most gifted archer to fire off so many arrows so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
I
the way
believe
the way this read is it would have been physically impossible for even the most gifted archer to fire off arrows that quickly. Then this fun fact is amended and says update. In the years to follow after the film, multiple high skilled archers have demonstrated that it's actually possible, and you can do it even faster.
Wow.
Isn't that sweet? You're watching it, and it's incredible.
That is
Like-
one of the movie magics, though.
It's not.
No. How do you
Clearly
have
it's
so
not
many
music.
arrows?
Well,
He's
a
an
couple.
elf.
He's gathering them. He's a gatherer, so he'll shoot and then he'll gather them and
He
put 'em
also
back
he
in.
also sometimes will stab somebody with one
Oh, I
and then
loved
pull
that.
it
Oh,
out
that was
and then
sweet.
shoot people again.
He
Yeah,
had some
cool
great
with
kills.
I told the girls, I said, you know what? I bet that Mom had a crush on Legolas.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, I bet she
had
did.
a poster of
I
Legolas.
said,
up
I
in
bet,
her-
I bet she had a poster, and they were like snickering back and forth. It was so
That's great.
funny.
Did you ever find
And
out?
then they went and asked her, and she said, "Yeah, oh yeah, definitely." Yeah, she's like, "I had 2 posters."
You're like, I had Travis Barker, but don't ask who that is.
This is his first role.
I need to look that up, but I don't know if it was his first.
might as
but
well
he
be
was
his
still in
first
drama
role.
school. I'll look it up.
Jeez.
All right, the river. I wrote this down. When Arwen.
It's the Egyptians. It's
When,
the Red Sea.
Isn't that awesome? It
100%.
reminds you of 10 Commandments. Yeah, so good.
Yeah. It's 100% the
I
Red
love
Sea.
how she just controls the water like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a couple like TV small spots, but his first movie role.
Well,
Crazy.
I think that Peter Jackson used a lot of people who were very new to acting, right?
Not for like the main roles. The main roles were very tenured people.
Because Elijah Wood, was he a child star or something? Apparently, Frodo's like 55 in the books, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
Because they treat
he's
the
55
hobbits
in
like
this.
children.
He's
Yeah.
55 in this.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, but they age way differently.
Not really. Bilbo's 111, and he is exceedingly. He's not supposed to look like he ages so much after he doesn't have the
Because he
ring.
has the ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess last point I have is Sam mindlessly walking to his death to keep a promise. Just like I'm gonna walk. I can't swim, and this is something I promised to do. Doesn't fight at the end. You call him the hero.
You think that's stupid?
Would you call him the hero this? I don't think it's stupid, but would you call him the hero if all you knew was this movie? Was this is you haven't seen the second or the third, you haven't read the book?
No.
No.
I call him the hero because of what happens in the trilogy.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and it's understandable. It really is. I'm not trying to poo-poo that, but to say he's a bigger hero than Frodo isn't fair.
I disagree, and you're wrong.
Okay, fine.
I like hot takes. I can't wait.
So to go back to what I was saying about like epic movies find ways of like having little nuances. If you watch the scene of the Fellowship around the round table, around the ring, there's when Boromir gets up and starts to speak, which he's representing Gondor. The music that plays for the theme of Gondor when the Horn of Gondor goes is very faint in the background. And so when you're watching it, you feel a certain way, but you can't explain why. And those little nuances that they use with music, I think, is just fascinating. Composer Howard Shore didn't plan out what the Rivendell background music would develop into the Gondor main theme, but by the third movie, he ultimately like made it develop in there because it had to make sense.
Yeah.
So like just really cool facts like that. I think
Another really interesting music note, and Reed picked up on this because his mind works this way in a way that mine doesn't. But there was the fight scene in the dwarf in the mountain, inside the mountain, when all the orcs are coming at them, right? After either Merry or Pippin makes that huge mistake. And they all come.
Fool of a
so
took.
what's interesting is, and I think it's the only one, during that entire fight scene, there is no music. There's no background. And Reed's watching it, and he was like, I love that there's no music.
It is.
And I think it's because they're inside this mountain, right? And you're hearing everything.
You're hearing
popping
all
off.
of the...
Yeah, but what a choice.
Yeah. Well, also like the how your heart drops when it's silent keep that, to stay in that uncomfortable sound, and then hearing the whistle of one single arrow. Yeah, that's cool.
Pretty neat. And I didn't pick up on that. I'll give Reed
That's cool.
some credit for that.
That's
one.
cool when your kid is like noticing stuff like
Dude,
that.
he has such a great ear for music.
Right after that, when they're running from, I think they call it the ball frog, that ends up
Did
lassoing
you say the bullfrog?
Ball frog.
It's probably a bullfrog.
What is it? What is it?
Have you
I think
never
he
heard
calls
of a
him
bullfrog?
a bell rock. A bellrog.
I'm talking about the spirit that
Yeah,
basically
the demon.
takes
Yeah.
Gandalf.
Balrog.
Bell rock.
Balrog. when they're running.
But we're going to call him the bullfrog.
I think the bullfrog. I think that needs to make it into the episode.
That is literally going to be the name of this episode.
But I want to know
Lord
if
of the
you
Rings,
guys,
the bullfrog.
do you guys, the music that starts playing the
The bullfrog.
I said
Balfrog.
Balfrog. It also could have been.
Balfrog.
It could have been autocorrect.
Balfrog.
When they started playing the chanting, when that shows up, what did you hear? Did nobody else heard this? Dude, it's literally shark bait. Ooh-ah. Shark bait. Ooh-ah.
Well, we didn't hear
I think we should
bullfrog.
just leave
promise.
that one. I think we should leave that one right there.
It was there.
So guess who else was almost composed this movie? You guys
John
don't-
Williams.
You guys don't know composers. No, James Horner. John Williams would have been interesting. James Horner, who did Titanic.
Yeah.
He ended up passing it up for A Beautiful Mind.
Oh.
Beautiful Mind won the Academy Award, but Howard Shore won the Academy Award.
Mhm.
Both of them nominated, by the way, for composers for both
Beautiful
movies.
Mind.
Beautiful
and this
Mind
came
is
out the same year.
Beautiful Mind
Fantastic.
came out the same year.
Oh,
Won
yeah.
Movie of the Year. And then, this one was up, and then composers won.
Back
Only
to back for Russell Crowe. If I'm
back
not,
to back
yeah.
Academy Awards. Who was the only nomination actor wise from this movie that was nominated for an Oscar?
that was nominated for this movie.
For this movie, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, who was the only actor nominated for an Oscar?
Oh, that's a good question. Viggo Mortensen.
Brett, do you know who Viggo is?
I might say the actor that he just said. I'm gonna go with whoever played Gandalf.
Yeah, that's accurate. Ian McKellen.
That was the
Yeah,
other option.
her.
He did not
Those
win.
would
He
be the two. Those would be the two options. I
He
think.
did not win. Viggo was committed, dude.
Yeah,
Viggo,
I agree.
So Viggo carried a sword around all the way. A sword never left his side.
Viggo
in,
played who?
Aragorn.
Yeah.
He had a sword with him all times in New Zealand. The guy who taught him how to use the sword said he's the best swordsman he's ever taught. He got stopped by the cops multiple times trying to explain why he never left the sword anywhere. Like, he was committed, and he had never read the book. His kid liked Lord of the Rings and said he should do it, and he was like a method actor from there on out.
Dude, you know what movie of his I really, really like?
Hidalgo?
Yes.
I like Hidalgo.
I really like Hidalgo a lot.
I saw half of it. I was on a date for Hidalgo. I had a Brett moment for
So
Hidalgo.
you saw half of it?
Yeah.
I saw half of it.
Well, I mean, it makes
I
sense.
saw half the horse.
While he's in the desert, only so much is happening. So
That- work on that,
That is
man.
a boring movie unless you're like watching it for the cover. You know?
I like it though. I rewatched it a little while ago.
Yeah, I could try again.
I can't tell. I can't remember if I thought movies
It's
I
not.
made
It's
out
not
during
fantastic.
were boring.
It's not
or really
fantastic, but I do.
It's a great movie. Dude, have you seen that movie, man? It's so good.
Maybe that's why Dude Where's My Car has always been like, I've been like, that movie was awesome. Maybe it sucked. I don't know.
Feels so good.
It
when she
definitely
tells jokes.
sucks. I'll give you a Colby.
Bring it to us.
Note
Cole.
from this one. She says she just kept telling me this is basically Harry Potter, and she was just comparing Samwise to Ron Weasley and Frodo to Harry and
fair.
Gandalf to Dumbledore, and the whole time she's doing this. And of course, I've seen like 3 memes this week about comparing the two. Not something that ever crossed my mind.
Really?
But she just makes like the most obvious, like, wow, J.K. Rowling ripped this off.
Well, I just think it's interesting how much scripture-based fiction makes the headlines. Like, people think it's like it's the original.
No, you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
That's the note
It's
I
written
made.
on our hearts.
That's the
you
note
know?
I made. Is every story we've ever heard actually biblical to start? And the answer is most of the time, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, if you think about people being made okay, first of all, this was like intentionally set up as allegory.
True.
First thing to know.
There's some people that claim J.K. Rowling has said that. I haven't read any interviews, but like J.K. Rowling supposedly has that
Maybe.
imagery.
I mean, maybe, but
But the fact that we don't know is interesting.
But the reality is that if you're made in God's image and you've gotten this written on your heart, then of course our stories reflect that.
right.
You know, it's It seems obvious when you think about it that way.
Did you guys notice that the camera, it changes the second half of the movie to like super smooth and almost like dreamlike?
For what scene?
Second half, like when he wakes after he wakes up.
After they-
is dreaming.
Yeah, and then the Shire is like, I don't want to say normal, but it's like clear, and then it's very smooth and like less edgy.
Yeah.
Very much dreamlike for sure.
Rivendell's supposed to be that.
Mhm.
Where the elves live. That's what it's supposed
Because
to be.
they've had thousands and thousands and thousands of years to build it. It's
They're
supposed to look,
immortal. They're immortal.
they're
Got it.
basically angels. Like that's, I believe that the way that he's setting it up and the different races is that the elves are essentially angels because the orcs are fallen angels.
Got it.
The orcs are fallen elves, right?
Really? I
Yeah. Oh
missed
yeah,
that.
they say that. Yeah.
They
I
do
missed
say
that
that. I
part.
remember that. They,
Huh.
they used to be elves. I remember them saying.
Yeah,
So what are the
they're
dwarves? What are the
fallen
dwarves
elves.
supposed to represent? Because there's always this tension between the dwarves and the elves,
I'm-
and they explain
I'm-
that in.
I'm not
Rings of
sure.
Power,
I
by the
didn't
way.
think it through that strongly. I remember I was really so
It doesn't
another
feel-
thing.
I
that-
remember-
another
I
thing
remember
that,
as
another
a kid
thing
thinking
that
it
Reed,
wasn't fair that the elves got to live forever and no one else does.
Another thing that Reed brought up was he said that he thought that orcs were fallen angels. And then as we were watching, I was like, "Oh, they're fallen elves." And then I was like, "Oh, elves equal angels."
Wait, so they do say that? They say
They
they're
do
fallen
say that-
They
elves?
say they're fallen elves.
Orcs are fallen elves. That's
Yeah.
how they
They
started.
say fallen elves.
They say it as fallen. Yeah.
I'm not going
Fallen.
to confirm the word
Why
fallen,
would it
but
fallen?
it's
Well, I think it's the general idea that like these are the warriors that Sauron brings up. Who is Sauron? Sauron is the devil, right? And he's got his hordes of orcs, which are the essentially immortal, right? Beings on this side, and then you've got the elves who are the immortal beings on this side.
I'm glad we're talking about
And
this.
you've got humans right in the middle.
Riddle me this: how are the Orokai just living underneath the ground of where Saruman has been this whole time?
I don't know.
Are they
if he's-
growing these
I think
things?
it feels like he's growing them, or maybe they're buried, right? Maybe they're felon, and he's bringing them back,
Yeah,
almost
that's
like
what I think.
resurrecting
That's what it
them.
seems
So like it was written for him to have like, are they buried everywhere in the world, or is it just so happen to be underneath the tower that Saruman has been hanging out in for the last however long?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that was interesting to
I don't
me.
know that much.
Isengard.
We ready to go to quotes?
Wait, I did have one more.
Yeah?
They go on a nice canoe trip. Have we ever talked about our canoe trip?
Canoe? Yes, we have.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you canoe?
I did say, Boromir has this moment, right, where
Noble, dude. He's noble at the end.
Well, before he's noble,
Redemption.
he has this moment of temptation, and what's interesting is that the temptation comes from what he thinks is a place of like, he's like, this is never going to work. You're too small. You're not going to be able to do this. Give this to me because I'm going to be able to do this. So to me, if you think about, the ring representing,
I can do this. I can do so much good for my people with this ring.
So,
But also-
no.
I don't think he believed he was going to destroy the ring.
I disagree.
In the scene where he's trying to steal it, he's saying, "I'm better than you.
I'm going to be
I'm
stronger. I'm
Yeah,
stronger.
in
So I'm
Rivendell-
thinking of
in
I'm thinking of the round table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In Rivendell,
Yeah,
he's
different-
Like, you can
yeah,
use
different.
this.
Got it. Okay.
But when they're in the woods or whatever, and he's going to take that, what he's essentially saying is what human beings, it's literally like the very first sin. It's, did God really say that if you eat of that, you're going to? It's us thinking that we know better
Yep.
than what God does. And so what's interesting is he thinks he knows better than Gandalf
Right.
in this case, who they've all trusted to be able to that Frodo
Sure.
can make it there. And the sin is actually interesting because he thinks he's making the right choice.
I've been on this for a couple weeks now studying Peter, because Peter looks at Jesus and Jesus is predicting his death in Mark something. And Jesus is like, they're going to take me, and before you can even say 3 days later I'm going to rise again, Peter interrupts him. He's like, no, we're not going to let him do, we're going to cut their ears off with a sword, you know. We're going to do that. And Jesus literally says, get behind me, Satan.
Yeah.
And that's his response to people saying your way is better. Like, you don't see the whole picture. Like, who are you to say that your way is better than God's? So much so that he said, get behind me, Satan. That what you're saying about Boromir.
Yep, 100%. And the last thing I would point out in this vein is that the bearer of the ring, like, is meant to be alone. Like, that's what whoever, I can't remember who it is that tells him that, but, like, you know, that is, like, you're meant...
Isolates you.
You're meant to be alone. Like, someone has to go on this journey, right? And although you're going to have friends around you, although it's not possible without other people, you know, being able to help you along the way, giving you different things that are going to help you along the way, like, you've got to have the ability to make it. And oftentimes he's the one making the decisions to go through different places or whatever, you know. It's his journey. It's him alone. And to be a ring bearer is to be alone. Like Gollum before him. Like,
are you saying ring bear?
Bear. Yeah.
Ring bear?
Yeah.
Like Wrath.
Bear.
Like bear. Like Revenant.
Like Revenant.
Quotes. I had thoughts, but this drink made me forget them.
One does not simply insert meme.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was from that. I had no idea.
What's the
Walk
best
into
meme?
Mordor.
What's the
is
best
quote.
meme that has been created from that? There's some good.
It's been
ones.
a long time since that's been.
One does not simply start a podcast.
That's good.
I just made that one up just now.
I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. A promise. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee. And I don't mean to. I don't mean to.
I haven't been dropping no eaves. It comes in pints. I'm getting one.
I almost
Shall not pass.
That's a great one.
Which, by the way, that's great. That is a good recall in Boss Baby. That is a funny movie, by the way.
Can I just say, okay, we got to go back really fast to the it comes in pints.
Comes in pints?
Because I very nearly served you a high noon in a pint.
In a pint?
When? What?
Just tonight?
Tonight, I highly considered
nice.
They come in pints?
because
Should've
you know you're always drinking 12 ounces or whatever, and I almost served it as a pint.
I would love that.
so that you could say
You guys
it comes
talked
in
about,
pints.
does he
It
know
comes
about...
in pints.
We've had one breakfast, yes. But does he know about second breakfast in Levensees? So you mentioned that earlier?
Yeah.
So that scene took him like 14 takes to get the apples. Viggo Mortensen actually was throwing apples at them, and he was loving it until they finally hit him in the face.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's like a real, like, they kept shooting until he got that shot.
Wow, he must not be a very good thrower.
I will help you bear this burden, Frodo Baggins, as long as it's yours to bear. I thought Gandalf is just such a good mentor. He's the best.
Go back, Sam. I'm going to Mordor alone, like a little bee. Of course you are, and I'm coming with you. Sam is the hero. And producer Nate agrees with me.
All you have to do... Dang it. All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to you.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
I haven't gotten one word in this whole time. I have a ton
Fly,
of
you fools! Fly! Fly, you fools!
I pity the fool. Oh,
That's a
different movie.
wrong movie.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Marcus, I'm out of quotes.
Oh, that's surprising.
Spilled my drink.
Men who above all else desired power. The hearts of men are easily corrupted. Those two are right at the very beginning, and it sets up the whole thing quite nicely. Before you came along, us Bagginses were well thought of. I liked that one.
Never had adventures or did anything unexpected.
You know, now that I'm watching this, you call him a little B. He wears a lot of makeup the whole movie. A lot of makeup
I
going
think
on.
he wears a lot of makeup. All these guys.
Oh my god.
Oh, I have a fun fact about that.
Have you guys ever had to
actually.
wear stage makeup? It's the worst.
Dude,
Oh, it's so
the
cakey.
orcs had to wear so much makeup. Oh my goodness.
I got a fun fact
They
about
actually
wigs.
just walked around with that on all around town.
It's amazing.
The entire cast had to wear wigs. Thousands of wigs, by the way. Okay, here we go. Oh, no. Thousands of wigs, but 19,000 costumes were created for this movie. 19,000.
You need a factory
budget
for
for this film. Is this the biggest budget film we've ever done on the show?
I can look that up. I don't know.
It's got to be pretty close.
I'll tell you a budget fun fact.
I guess
though.
Jurassic Park.
I got a
was pretty
budget fun fact for you guys. So
Who had a bigger budget, this or Elvis?
another night in Her Majesty's
Size
court.
doesn't matter, Brett.
Another night in Her Majesty's court was supposed to play Gandalf. Who was it?
Another night.
Was offered to play. Yeah.
Sean Connery.
Sir Sean Connery.
Third Rock from the Sun guy.
Nope. It's John Lithgow.
Yep.
Is he a sir? He's American.
It looks like a sir.
Sir Sean Connery was offered 10. Listen to these numbers. Sir Sean Connery was offered 10 million per film plus 15% of the trilogy's gross for the role of Gandalf.
Holy
He turned
cow.
it down. That would have been, if he would have accepted it, he would have made $210 million.
Wow.
It's hard to
Why did
imagine
they offer him
in that
that?
role.
Why did they offer him that?
It's hard to imagine.
No
him in
one
that
is
role.
worth that. Even if you go back and look at, like, I don't know, Good Will Hunting. So Good Will Hunting, Matt Damon talks about the big win being when they got Robin Williams.
Yeah.
When they landed Robin Williams, they're like, okay, this is going to be a good movie. But they wouldn't have offered it in anything like this.
Well, they didn't. They didn't have any money.
15%?
But even if, like, they wouldn't have offered him gross off, like, you can't
Dude,
make any
who
money
did
that
Peter
way.
Jackson have backing this? My goodness.
I have no idea.
15%'s wild.
I mean, that's wild. Now, granted, the character of Gandalf was the only one nominated for an Oscar, so it was the most important actor. You could make the argument.
Did you
and
guys-
to your point, Frodo was a fairly new actor
Do you
too.
even
and he
know
was the
who
lead.
Sam is?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you one last quote, even though I would have done a bunch more. You shall not pass.
I
Who's
literally
going to tell
screamed
him?
that.
Who's going to
I
tell
literally
him?
screamed.
Anybody going to tell him?
You screamed that one already?
dude.
Screamed
I'm
it.
sorry, I was trying to read my quotes. You guys were going crazy.
All right,
don't
I
have
got
to
one
apologize.
more. I got one more. You shall not pass.
All right, hidden gems. I'll kick us off
One
with
does
this.
not simply walk into Mordor.
Hidden
say that one?
gems.
I'm just kidding.
What are our hidden gems? Movie magic. Bilbo left you everything he owns. Zero reaction. He left you everything. His house, everything. No reaction at all. Okay.
Because he wanted to
What
go
are you
with
talking about? They were stunned.
No, dude.
who, Frodo?
No,
Frodo-
everyone was stunned.
Dude.
Yeah, in the book, Gandalf plays it up and makes like a firework go to make it look like a magic trick. In the movie, they made it look more like, what the heck just happened?
Dude, he just... Okay.
Do not take me for a conjurer of cheap tricks.
So in that scene when Gandalf hits his head on that ceiling beam, that's,
that an
He actually
accident?
did
an
that, right?
accident. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
left
think
that
I
in. He
remember
go,
that.
oh, like that's a real
That's
take.
great.
I love that. It's you would never know that. He's just in character. When you're in character, you're in character.
Good
Yeah,
for
man,
him.
you just go.
You know what
I will
helps with
say,
that?
though,
Stage acting probably
I,
really helps.
I
with
will
that.
say though that I guarantee that a part of him knows that something like that happens and he needs to play it up because it could be really good. Like there's
it's instant.
I know, but I'm saying you said they just keep going.
Yeah, he said,
right?
Sir. By the way, another Sir Peter Jackson thought McKellen did a great job acting through the mistake.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that I think that you're aware, especially like you said, he's huge at the stage acting where you just have to roll with whatever you've got, but you are aware as an actor of what you're doing, especially because you get to this point where you just know your lines and everything else so well that you're thinking more about how you're interacting with the other actors or what the performance is or
you know
whatever
the objective.
than what the words are. Are you asking a question?
Waterworld cost $82 million more
Than this?
than Lord of the
Wow,
Rings.
Waterworld.
Nice.
$82 million more than this. And that was way before this, right?
6 years before.
Yeah, Waterworld gets a bad rap.
I've never seen it. I don't think.
Rightfully so.
I mean, it's bad, but it's not like the worst movie.
It lost
ever.
money? It lost
Sharknado.
money?
Sharknado came in way under budget for the same.
Anyway.
same thrills.
Anyway,
Are we fun facts?
Yeah,
Hidden gems?
we're
yeah,
at
fun
movie-
facts and hidden gems.
All
I
right.
didn't write down any hidden gems.
So
I
during
don't-
filming, most
I
of the
had nothing.
members took up surfing in New Zealand, and Viggo Mortensen was one of them. Wiped out so bad that he got a bruise on the whole side of his face. Here's a great fun fact: the next day, makeup artists couldn't mask it. So there's one scene in the Mines of Moria where they find the tomb. Aragorn is only seen from one side in the entire scene.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty
Hello?
epic.
That you're an important player in the film when they're willing to do that.
They changed the scene size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who was it? Who
well,
are we
they're
talking
probably
about?
pissed, and they decide to
were
do
we-
it anyway.
Who were we talking about in an
'Cause
early
they've gotta get
episode
on
where
schedule.
Jeffrey from Pirates of the Caribbean. Jeffrey,
Only he's always on a
he's-
certain side.
Yeah, he said
Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush. He said, if I'm going to be in a movie with Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, I need to be on this side because people watch from left to right, and no one's going to watch me if they're on the left side of me. Or
That's who this movie's missing. Keira
Jeffrey.
Knightley.
you love her, man. You love her.
Is that
Who
your
do-
celebrity
who do I-
crush,
who do
Keira
I
I
Knightley?
mean, she's prettier than
Have
Liv
you-
Tyler.
Have you seen Liv Tyler? I'm not. I had a Julia Roberts take on Liv Tyler for this movie.
yeah, I agree.
She's great in some early movies. This one, elf ears don't flatter everybody.
And Kate Blanchett's kind of like haunting in
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah, I think she likes that. That's
Yeah.
that's what
Nothing
she's
like
going
Julia
for.
Roberts in a business suit.
How would Julia Roberts been as Arwen?
And for the record, I'm saying they did Julia Roberts wrong. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
you probably should have said that.
I'm not saying.
Next time, say that.
I'm not saying.
Julia Roberts so disappointing.
Okay, help me understand this because I know there's a good answer. They get into not elf. They get into the mines,
Yep,
which
Mines
would
of Moria.
which are who
Dwarfs,
live there.
which is pretty cool how they build like these epic, like huge.
yeah.
Now that you see a lot of in The Hobbit because
Yeah.
the dwarves play a huge
As soon
role.
as they
Yeah.
get there, Gandalf's like, it's gonna take 4 days to get across, and then they're out in like that night.
No,
No, they
No?
spent the night.
Okay, they're out the next day.
no. It takes quite some time.
They literally battle through, and then they're out.
They spend the 1st
I'm just
night.
saying,
They spend the first night. then
Was there
they-
a reason that it took less time? Is what I'm asking.
No, I don't think it actually took less time. I think that they weren't going to show you 4 days worth of them walking through an abandoned mine.
I don't know. I think you might be right. I think
If it was less time, it
Now-
wasn't
now
much
listen.
less time.
if you're battling orcs and fleeing for your life, you're probably going at a faster pace than if you were just walking four
Sure.
days through the Mines
Sure.
of Moria, stopping and saying hi to all the dwarves. You know,
I didn't know if
How's it
because
going?
they found that bridge that wasn't a route they would normally take, but they were willing to do it.
But the
because
bullfrog. I mean, when you have a fiery
you
bullfrog.
ever fought a bullfrog?
Have you ever
It's
fought a
tough.
Well, you know
Fiery
who has
bullfrog.
fought a bullfrog is Gandalf the Grey.
That's right.
And the bullfrog won. The bullfrog won.
Bullfrog takes out
All right.
Gandalf the
Lose,
Grey.
lose.
All right, so
That's a great death, though.
the
Run,
nine-
you fools.
The 9 actors who formed the Fellowship of the Ring, which, by the way, if you see them all together and they're relatively all the same height, is shocking. But before even
Yeah.
the movie release, they all got tattoos, the Elvish word for 9 on their bodies.
No.
Except
9?
9.
Oh my gosh. Because the fellowship is 9.
Because of the cover podcast.
Yeah.
9 questions.
Obviously.
Top 9.
Clearly.
I thought that was brilliant. Except for Gimli, he sent his body double. He sent his stuntman because he didn't want a tattoo. Peter Jackson didn't want to take away from that, but he got the Elvish word for 10. tattooed on his body. But like, can you imagine like 14 months of your life and you know it's going to be epic, so you just go ahead and get a commemorative tattoo before it even comes out?
That's great.
That's what we're going to do. When we're in, it's Sunday. When we're at Sundance, we're getting tattoos.
Getting tattoos.
By the way,
Hey
at
man,
the live
I've
recording,
got a tattoo.
I bet
Mormons.
I bet Mormons can tattoo.
Dude,
some.
I think I could get the. Do I have the cover? On
Yeah.
right
You're gonna
now?
get the
You do.
cover tattoo.
Dude, should we get it like somewhere? I don't know.
at the live recording, Rod Adkins sent me a tattoo artist that supposedly does script. Went on the Instagram, 0 script. No
Well,
script
Rod's
at
got
all.
some tattoos though. He knows what's up.
No script. No script.
Keep looking, man.
Yeah, I'm
Get the
gonna
right
keep
one.
looking.
Don't skip out. Don't get
Thank you,
discounted
Rob.
tattoos.
Don't get discounted tattoos.
It's forever.
What's it gonna say? The Bible tells me so.
Here's another fun fact, hidden gem. Sean Bean, who played Boromir, swears he was not actually in New Zealand on the day they shot the scene where the Fellowship departs Rivendell, and he must have been digitally added to the shot.
No way.
Isn't that crazy? Like he just
Like, this is
does
the
not
thing that
remember.
He says.
He says this. He's like, I don't remember being there. You
Was he
must have
drunk or
added me."
something?
I don't know. I know. We would have known that. He's a funny. There's a lot of really fun facts, like funny facts around him. Like they would take a helicopter to fly to certain parts of the set, but he hates flying.
Mm-hmm.
So he would wake up at like 5 a.m. and just start walking up the mountain to get to where the scene was.
Oh, it's John Madden.
Wow.
John Madden didn't fly.
John Madden would not fly.
That's why they got the
He
bus.
drove?
Yeah.
That's why they got the
So
huge bus.
the big bus, the Madden bus.
I used to love Madden.
It was good. More hidden gems. I think it's rating time.
30 pounds. Sean Astin gained 30 pounds to play a role of a 30-pound hobbit.
Rating time 1 to 9.
I got one more fun fact.
Go ahead.
This is the funniest fun fact that I came up. The moth to which Gandalf whispers was born shortly before filming that day and died soon after it was finished. That's a fact.
Well, yeah, it's a fact.
It's
Of
a
course
moth.
It's a fact.
Can you imagine? That's got to be the shortest lifespan of a movie star of all time.
It's a real moth.
So it's not the same moth later?
Oh, it's dead.
Did they do all those scenes at
That
once?
reminds me of a joke I heard.
How did the moth make it to the eagle?
Helen Keller, dog's name.
Nope, not that at all. Not at all.
Rating 1 to 9. I'm an 8.8.
That's pretty good.
I can't tell you what holds me back from a 9, but I know it's not a 9. It's an 8.8.
I'm an 8.9 because I believe that it could be a little slightly better, and I believe The Hobbit gets it there. So I am a fan of both trilogies.
Yeah, I actually went into this thinking I wasn't going to give it a 9. And watching it with the girls and seeing them experience it the first time, and I think with a critical view, I said, you know what, this is a 9. I got to give it a 9.
So if I would have given
not
it
mad
a
at that.
9, would you have paused?
No.
I'm not mad at that.
Proud of myself.
I'm not mad at that. Although when we're screening this movie,
But what's interesting is I don't know that I would give. I'd have to watch The Hobbit once.
You know
again,
what?
But I'm not sure if I would
I
give
like the
those 9s.
story.
I don't even know if I would give Two Towers or Return of the King 9s.
I think
That's
it being
interesting.
I'm not sure I would.
that's interesting.
I think it being 3 hours does not help its case.
Why?
It's long.
Oh no, I love it.
Yeah.
What would you- what would
And-
you
and
take
still,
out?
if it
This
was
one
a
works.
9,
What are you
I
gonna
wouldn't-
leave out of
I
this?
wouldn't feel like it was 3 hours and it was too long.
So
I
are
feel
we
like-
actually watching the next two and doing a double?
Yeah, we're doing it
episode
tonight. We're
next-
staying here right after this.
Oh,
So look at
okay.
this. I think that this is a perfect example of
I
like
did this
screening
once.
this in the back, not listening to it. Sound adds so much dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
Music and scoring adds so much dynamic to the
This
movies.
scene was very intense, and I don't
Dude,
feel as intense right
You
now.
were talking about watching these next two.
It's almost goofy. It's almost like
Yeah.
cartoony if you don't have music.
You were talking about watching the next two tonight.
Yeah.
So when I worked night shift and I had nothing to do
At where?
at Potato Creek State Park,
When he was going through Cutco training, he didn't sleep for like 2 days.
So
3 days.
when I was working there for the night shift, I would just take in trilogies. So I would
Yeah.
watch like the entire Matrix trilogy or
Nice.
Indiana Jones or whatever.
In a
right?
night, how many cars showed up?
Like 6 in 9 hours.
Were you
Okay.
ever sleeping when a car showed up?
So
Did they
this
give
was
you a
the
gun or
only,
just a
This was
flashlight?
the only trilogy. This was the only trilogy that I didn't make it through. So I watched it, but I didn't get done before the end of my shift.
Nice.
So what'd you do? Did you go home and watch it?
No, probably not.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, listen, that was a difficult job because it just wasn't a good fit for my personality. Being alone
at night with
at night.
So did
I
you
would
ever-
just run circles, by the way, just laps around my freaking little station.
did a car ever show up and you were asleep and they were like, "Hey,
I don't think I ever fell asleep.
wow."
Yeah,
good for
I
you."
don't.
I worked security guard for the Bears when the Bears had their their camp at the all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I took some certain shifts. I remember being in a shift and some of the players, because I was responsible for like telling if players broke curfew. Freaking Brian Urlacher broke curfew every night, and I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
What am I gonna say about
Yeah,
Brian
exactly.
Urlacher breaking curfew?
Dude,
How do
I
you
saw
feel
an
about
interview with Brian
securing
Urlacher.
280-pound men?
Dude,
who
I
are
was like
full-
150 pounds at the
I-
time. They
I
gave me a
remember-
walkie-talkie.
I remember watching an interview with Brian Urlacher, and he was like, "I don't watch film. I just go out there and win."
Hit people,
You know,
yeah.
like this is like.
Dude, he was a brute.
Can you imagine though? He's a linebacker. Doesn't watch film. He just goes out there and reacts.
How crazy
Gosh.
was it that team made it to the Super Bowl and their best player was a punt returner?
Hey now,
Dude, Devin
Kyle
Hester
Orton.
was amazing.
Kyle Orton was not a.
He was the
not even
backup quarterback. Maybe the
starter
backup
on that
backup.
team. It was Rex.
I know.
Grossman.
What's
Kyle Orton
what's
was on that team,
next? So apparently, what's next? What's the next Lord of the Rings?
Are we really doing this?
Here's the deal. I'm not committed to, but we're watching Lord of the Rings next.
I think we should definitely throw out a special episode.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So we'll watch Mean Girls
We'll watch Mean
and
Girls.
Twin Towers.
Yeah, and then we'll throw out a
And we'll
separate
just
part
do
two.
a special,
Yeah.
a special release. Two Towers.
Yeah,
All right.
There's
Mean
no
Girls.
way Brett's gonna. There's no
Two
way
Towers.
that Brett's going to be able to not do a third.
can
one
you
for
read?
Return
Can you
of the
read
King.
both? Can you watch both?
I can watch both.
The 2 and 3.
And then just do
Oh,
like
oh,
a special
oh,
release
wow.
of
Special release
2
for
and
the
3
yeah
to kind of finish it off.
yeah part 2. Part 2 of the Lord of
And
the
then
Rings
can you
trilogy.
do a double episode?
Mean Girls. Top Gun Maverick. So I
And you
usually
still have to read the book.
I usually have a big meeting on Tuesdays. Next week I don't because we have division meeting on
Hey.
Thursday. That
Hey, let's
Rem's
get together as a
speaking
podcast and we'll screen it.
at. Top Gun Maverick, Happy Gilmore, which Adam Sandler special, and then Shoe Dog Phil Knight. Man, it's good.
It's
Very
really
good.
good.
Why
So
am I
good.
always surprised?
Start reading or listening to it right now.
When somebody starts a business and it's a big business, but I know they started it. Why am I always surprised that it was like hard and a grind and
Took forever.
things went
for
wrong
him.
and
I resonate with his story because he built someone else's dream before his own. Like
That's right.
he brought Onitsuka Tigers
right.
ASIC
Yeah.
looking shoes.
Yeah.
Is it the same as ASICs? Is
It
it
definitely looks
Is
similar.
ASICs born out of Onitsuka?
He describes them similarly.
I don't think so, but I don't know that. for a
yeah,
fact.
tigers though.
The limber up.
You guys waiting on me to end it?
You usually do.
Night, night.